Hello, welcome to turn 7 of PanzerBlitz, Situation 1. The status right now, the Russians have a minor victory. They've taken out 8 units. The Russians are going to go for a higher level of victory now. In order to do that, they have to take out 4 more German units. For a decisive victory, they have to take out 8 more German units. All the Russian tank units are eliminated. The Russian cavalry units are in good shape, but for this turn, 2 of them are dispersed. Other than those, the Russians have 2 wagons. They have a submachine gun infantry unit that's down the hill, and they have a mortar unit, a 2mm mortar unit down the hill. The Russians have this cavalry right here. So we're going to go in order. There's no mine phase because no one's on a mine. Will the Russians fire? We have a unit in the open. We have 20 combat factors here. So if the Russians fire, they can take out that unit, but they would still have to take out 3 more units. So they're not going to fire yet. I'm going to do the movement turn. I'm looking to do a close assault. Yes, a close assault into the city. To take out, that would be easy to take out. That would be fairly easy to take out. So I'm going to put 1 cavalry there, 1 cavalry there, 1. Oh yeah, cavalry can only move 1 during the turn they close assault. So that's the catch. So, and this is a 10 defensive. So that would be a 2-to-1 odds, and then it'd be a column shift to the right. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just leave them where they are. Down the hill, this submachine gun will load up on the wagons. That ends their phase. And this mortar unit will actually move right here. This wagon will move down to it. It can't load yet though. So at the bottom of the mesa, we have wagons. We have a mortar unit. And we have a submachine gun infantry unit. The submachine gun infantry unit is loaded aboard the wagon. The mortar unit has yet to load up on the wagons. Up on the mesa, we have 2 platoons of cavalry looking to do a close assault against an engineer unit. We're going to do the close assault. There'll be 2-to-1 odds, but we'll have a -2 modifier to the die roll. And we rolled a 1, so that will eliminate another German unit. So our whole kill tally here is each one of those. So far we've eliminated a command post. Command posts are worth 5. We've also eliminated 2 howitzers and a security, and we just eliminated an engineer unit. So we're up to 9 points. The Russians have to eliminate 3 more units. So I'm going to remove this disperse marker. I remove the disperse markers. And that's the end of the Russian turn. Now we're going to do the German turn. German, bottom of turn 7. Germans are in survival mode right now. That armor weapon, the 88mm, needs support. So the first thing I'm going to do, first is mines. There are no mines. Second is the fire phase. Question is, can that armor in a howitzer hit any target? They're in woods, and they're both on the mesa. The pillbox in the woods on top of the mesa contains a command point, which only does not affect anything here as far as firing. It takes 88mm anti-armor and a 34mm howitzer. And 3 hexes away are 2 cavalry platoons. I'm going to hide the pieces and check to see if there's a line of sight between those. Turn on the line of sight. And draw a line. And there is a line of sight between those 2 units. So I'll turn that off. I'm putting the pieces back because I removed the pieces to check the line of sight. So 2 cavalry units, each defend at 8. Armor against infantry will be half. So that 20 will become a 10. That howitzer will remain at 14, so that'll be 24. So I can either do a 3-to-1 attack against one of the cavalry platoons or a 1-to-1 attack against both cavalry platoons. So for a 3-to-1 attack, I would get 5 out of 6 chance of getting at least a dispersal with a 50% chance of eliminating. With a 1-to-1 attack, I would have a 50% chance and be just dispersal. My goal here is survival. Let's back up to the movement phase, because I haven't moved anything yet. I haven't fired yet. So I want to give some support. We have that 88mm right there. Oh yeah, the fire phase is first. So I can either take the 1-to-1 or I can take the 2-to-1. The 2-to-1 will have a 50% chance of taking out this cavalry unit, eliminating. And will have, I believe, a 5 and 6 chance of at least eliminating for the next turn. If I attack both units, I have a 2-to-1 possibility. So I'm going to take the 1-to-1 chance. I'm going to take the 50% chance of dispersing both these units. 5. So they both fired, and there was no effect. So I marked those units in the bunker with fire marker. Now do I have any other units that I want to do an attack with? Units in a bunker do not count for stacking purposes. Okay, I took a look. So now what I'm going to do is move this infantry. Before I do that, I may have fire from this guy right here. So I have an 88 millimeter howitzer. It's an anti-armor weapon. 88 millimeter anti-armor. I have some cavalry. Its value is 1/2 because cavalry is considered infantry. So it's going to, I can do a 2-to-1 attack, or a 1-to-2 attack has 33% chance of dispersing. So I'm gonna go for the gamble. I'm gonna go for try roll a 1 or a 2 to disperse both these cavalry units, and I get a 4. So that unit has fired. I have a, it's like a 58 millimeter armor weapon. It attacks at 8. You have that against cavalry. And there's 2 cavalry platoons right next to it. So it's going to be a 1-to-2 odds. So I'm going to take that 1-to-2 attack against one of the cavalry units. And he rolled a 5. So it's more ineffective fire by the Germans. That's all my fire. I don't see any other German units that have fire. So now it's move. Now I gotta do the move phase. This unit is gonna stack. So I have a submachine gun unit that defends with 6. It's in the woods. It's moving into the town where it'll join the security unit that defends at 5. And that the thing, units in towns defend as armor. So you're going to have infantry against armor if I try to have the cavalry go against that, or any unit that the Russians have left. So there's units. We have 3 town hexes. In one of the town hexes, we have a security unit which defends at 5. We have a submachine gun unit which defends at 6. They're going to defend as armor in a town, and I believe there's a +1 bonus. In another town hex, we have an engineer unit which defends at 10. And I believe a security platoon which defends at 5. That's 15 in a town, defends as armor. And that also has a anti-armor gun which has a defense of 3. And by itself, I'm sacrificing this unit. I have the 88 millimeter in that same town in another hex. I have an 88 millimeter anti-armor weapon. That defends at a 1. The Germans are going to sacrifice that. This pillbox back here be tough to take out. So now that's German movement phase. Now the German close assault phase. There are 2 cavalry units which defended 8, so it's 16. And it will be 5 against 16, which is 1-to-4. 5 against 16, yeah, 1-to-4 round in favor of the defender. But because it's 1-to-4, but because it's engineers, it'll become 1-to-3, so it'll be a 1-to-3 attack -2. So it's be a 1-to-3 attack -2. And again, 5 will be 3, no effect. So that close assault had no effect on those units. All right. So when we come back, we'll be doing turn 8 of this. So it's the Russian turn 8. Fire phase, none. Movement phase. At the bottom of the hill, the infantry unit, the submachine gun unit, lowered aboard the wagon, is going to drive on the road. 2, and 3. The mortar unit is going to load up. And up here, the cavalry unit is going to move in. We're going to try close assault that unit in close assault one of the town hexes. In the town hex, looks like there's that engineer unit and a security unit and an anti-armor weapon. That attack will be 18 to 40. So it'll be a 2-to-1 -2 attack on that hex. So I'm going to roll it. 2-to-1 -2. We rolled a 3. Got a 1. That eliminates those 3 units. And that gives one. So I believe that gives the Russians 12 units eliminated. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the Russians have eliminated 12 units. They now have a tactical victory. In order to get a decisive victory, they have to eliminate 4 more units. Which basically means either cleaning out this pillbox or cleaning out the town. So we're going to go to the bottom of the turn 8. Germans are in trouble. So there are in this town 4 German units. Looks like there's a security squadron, a German submachine gun squadron, a 50mm armor, anti-armor, and 88mm anti-armor. The 50mm anti-armor is immobile. The 88mm anti-armor is immobile. But the Germans only need to have one of these units survive to present a decisive Russian victory. So since the attack phase comes first, I'm going to take this right here, this anti-armor as 10 firepower. There are now 2 cavalry. There's an anti-armor 88 in the town. Next to the town, there's 2 platoons of cavalry. Each platoon of cavalry defends at 8. The 88 against infantry, which cavalry is considered infantry. Its attack factor is halved into 10. So if it attacks just one of these cavalry units, it'll be a 1-to-1 attack. That's the best it can hope for. So I'm going to roll a 1-to-1 attack against one of the cavalry units. And 4, so no effect. So German firing has been very ineffective. Let's look at other units that are possibly able to fire. This hex right here. So again, the unit in the woods sees at a range of 3, 2 cavalry units. This fortification would normally have 20, so you have an 88 millimeter, which has 20 firepower, but against infantry it becomes a 10. And you have a howitzer of 14. So you have attack of 24. So you can either do 24 to 16, which is a 1-to-1 attack, or you can do a 3-to-1 attack. I'm going to try the 1-to-1 attack. So 50% of getting chance of these units being dispersed. 2, finally. So that disperses these cavalry units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2. So I have a town hex. In the town hex, there's a 58 millimeter that can't move. I'm willing to sacrifice that. I'm moving what I believe is that security infantry platoon and the submachine gun platoon. And they're going to go down the road a ways. 1, 2, 1, 2. Which means that they can't be attacked next turn. So that's the Germans' movement phase. I did the German fire phase and actually got a dispersal, which is good. Should mark those with fire. The other one fired. So I believe that is it for the German turn number 8. So now we're going into Russian turn number 9. Once again, the Russians have eliminated 12 points. They need to eliminate 16 for a decisive victory. So in order for the Russians to get the decisive victory, it has to take out 2, and we're in turn 8, game ends after turn 10. They have to take out 2 anti-armor guns, each located in a separate hex in the city. And then they have to catch these infantry units that are running away from them. It's going to be very difficult for the Russians to accomplish what they need to accomplish. But we shall see. So the Russians have 20 firepower here, and that unit right there defends at a 1. So one of these units, that's infantry, is going to fire at that unit. So that cavalry unit with 10 attack factors is going to attack that the 88 millimeter anti-armor weapon. That 10 is a 5 because that's an armor target. So it's still going to be a 5-to-1. And the modifier for a town is add 1. So it's going to be a 4-to-1 with 1 being added. A 6. So combat results table, 4-to-1 gets a 7. No effect. Things are not looking good for the Russians to get a decisive victory. It's probably not going to happen. So that's the Russian fire phase. Russian vehicle movement phase. We got carts. So this cart, our infantry, can move 3, 1, 2. I'll go there. 1, 2, 3, and unload. And this cart's going to begin its journey up the hill. 1. Gonna follow that road, try and get up the hill. Go. So that's the Russian movement phase. So that's submachine gun unit against this unit in a town. So first of all, this right here, this close combat attack, it's going to be 5 to 1 with the -2, 4 to 1 with the -2, so that's going to eliminate that anti-armor. So now the Russians need 3 more to get decisive victory. This unit moved and then got off with the vehicle, left the vehicle as a close combat attack. It goes to half its value, will be a 4. So that'll be a 1 to 1 with the -2 plus 1 in town. So it'll be 1 to 1 -1. That'll be a 2 on a 1 to 1. So that will be dispersed. Oh, that unit didn't move. So I have a cavalry unit who didn't move. Cavalry unit would have moved over there. How would that have affected the attack? So I would have had 4 plus 5. That would have been a 2 to 1. Go to the charts. I believe that would have been the same result. 3 would have been a 2. Yeah, it would have been the same result, except it would have been a special dispersal, but the unit wasn't already dispersed. So it would have made a difference. All right. And now I'm going to remove all the markers magically. Nine, actually. Russian, we did the German. Now we're going to be on to turn 10. Last turn. Do the Russians have any fire? Just did the Russians, right? Yeah, okay, so we're in the fast. All right, so we're back. So it's the Russians. It's the Germans' turn. 9. Germans' turn 9. After this turn, it'll be the Russians' turn, and then the game will be over. To begin the German turn, it's their fire phase. There are 3 units in this fortification. The command post can't fire. Armor, that anti-armor weapon can fire against that infantry. That'll be half power. So instead of 20, it'll be a 10. That howitzer can fire against that infantry. It'll be a 14, so you'll have 24 firepower against 12, so it'll be a 2 to 1 attack. The unit is in woods, so it'll be a 2 to 1 attack plus 1. And the roll is 3. So 4 on a 2-to-1 attack. That infantry will be dispersed. And those units just completed their fire. And that is the only German fire I can do. Now movement. Russian cavalry can move 3. 1, it's on the road. 2, and then it can reach over here. So if these 2 units both move down that slope, then this cavalry unit can reach them and attack them together because they're on the road. In which case they have a chance to eliminate them and get a decisive victory. However, if just one of these units move down the hill, one unit will be screening the other unit. The most that the Russian can eliminate is 1 more unit, which means the Russians will be 1 unit short of a decisive victory. And that's also assuming that they can take out this armor unit in the city. So that is going to be the Germans' move for turn 9. And we're going to the final turn now. So that was the Germans' move. Now it's the Russians' turn 9. So that's the end of the game, because the Russians will not be able to take out the required units to achieve a decisive victory. So they achieved a tactical victory by eliminated 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. They eliminated 13. They needed 16 to get a decisive victory. So let's talk about this. The Russians would have to eliminate that weapon and then these 2 infantry. And because 1 infantry is basically screening the other infantry, it would be impossible for them to do. Assuming, of course, that you'd be able to get there and do an attack. And if cavalry moves, they can't do a close assault. Cavalry is limited to a 1 hex movement if it does a close assault. So the most the Russians can do is try and take out this, and they could very easily take out that anti-armor weapon. It only defends at 3. The other alternative is to try to take out that fortification right there. All right, move the fire marker, take out that fortification. And that would be impossible to do. Well, maybe not. The only units within 1 hex range of that is just this cavalry unit right here. It can move 1, it can do a close assault against that. That'd be a 1 to 4. No, it'd be a 1 to 8, so they're not going to be able to take that. So that's the game. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give feedback. Things I could do better. Things you liked. I appreciate it. If I didn't want to say this, but I would appreciate it. If you do like this, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will be doing something every day. As of now, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next time. I may be doing scenario 2 of this. I may be doing MBT. I may be doing Panzer. Or I may be doing Sherco baseball. I will be doing something. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye-bye.